Hey everyone, welcome to Nerds on Ice, the show where cool nerds get fired up about today's hot topics. Now normally you would see Director of S.H.I.E.L.D., Mr. Chris Fury, sitting in this seat. However, he is off saving the world this week from terrors unknown. So I am filling in for him. I'm Tommy Deep, and we are going to go around and we are going to meet our guests. We are talking about the Power Rangers this week, and we are all very excited to do that. So we are going to start off with Jerry, our good friend. We've known him for a little while. Jerry's a regular con-goer, gamer, anime watcher, reviewer, co-host of the Two Beers Show. I would like to have two beers right now. And one of the masterminds behind Cleveland's oldest anime club, Urban Otaku. Welcome aboard, Jerry. Also joining us, we've got Sean, a musical theater actor who's joining us from Raleigh, North Kakalaki. So during the collapse of civilization as we know it, he has been working with his second passion, which is coffee. Now, while Sean has always considered himself the Red Ranger, deep down, he's always known there was a little Blue Ranger in him trying to get out.
Yes.
And from all the way in Los Angeles, Rory has been word weaving since second grade, publishing her first book, Flashbang, a short story anthology, in October 2013. In 2019, you are working on the anthology, or the graphic novel came out in 2019. Is that correct? Yeah? There it is. So, and that graphic novel is based on the short story anthology of the same name. Rory is currently developing one of her short stories into an animated series. So that is outstanding. Thank you for joining us. And making his way to the show by way of Boston, we've got Spanky Daddy Louie, who brings us a little extra insight on the Power Rangers as the host of his own popular YouTube series, But Is It Good?, where he's reviewed dozens of games, one of the biggest arguably being the Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid game. And you can also check Spanky Daddy Louie out as he paints Power Rangers miniatures live every Tuesday on Twitch TV. So there you go. Look, there it is right there.
So cool.
Nice, nice, nice. All right, everyone. So again, welcome to the show. We're really glad that you made it. And we may be having some technical difficulties this week. Hopefully not. We've got some stream lag going on. Our stream is not healthy. I've heard that once or twice from the doctor. But anyway. So let's just go ahead and dive into it. So we're talking about the Power Rangers. Specifically, we're going to be talking about the future of the franchise. There's been some rumors swirling around that this may be... You should drink more water for your stream, from Jay Quellen. Yikes.
Yeah, that's what the doctor recommends.
So there's been some rumors swirling around that this may actually be the last season of the Power Rangers on television as we know it. So we've got a brand new series coming out. It's called Dino Fury, and that's going to be coming out in 2021 on Nickelodeon. So I'd like to hear from our panel. You know, what is it about Power Rangers? It's so cheesy. It's so incredibly corny. Power Rangers fans, they know that it's US based actors, but you're splicing in Japanese martial arts scenes and combat scenes from a show called Super Sentai. What is it? It's so cheesy. So what makes it work?
It's that nostalgia factor. It's like I grew up running home from school to make sure I was there by 3 o'clock to watch it. Like, that'll never get old. As bad as it is now looking back, or as cheesy, it still has that place in your heart that just makes you comfortable.
And you grew up with Mighty Morphin, right? Was that
I did, yes.
That was yours? Rory, what about you? Uh-oh, Rory, we can't hear you. Uh-oh.
Can you hear me now?
There you go. Gotcha.
Okay, cool. Love the musical theater, by the way, Sean.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm like, yes. Phantom of the
R.I.P.
Opera. Okay. So I guess I definitely grew up with Mighty Morphin. I was that first generation. We were like, oh, I'm this ranger in the schoolyard. So for me, it's you know, even though I have to look through adult eyes now, painfully, you know, I'd still love that fact that, you know, it was like teenagers who got superpowers. Like, who wouldn't want that? So yes, being home every day, like watching this and like deciding which ranger I wanted to be, or like later on creating my own ranger and like borrowing a Zorg. I'm like, you know what? I'm the future ranger. How about that? Since all colors are really taken by people, I'm gonna be the future ranger. I like pink and purple.
Nice.
So it was, you know, for what it was, especially with that first generation, I hadn't seen anything like it. It was super inspiring, you know.
Okay.
Even though I know that as an adult they were splicing things in. Gives me my own ideas though. What
Right.
can work and what.
And they made it work. And they really did. They made it work.
Yeah.
And they did a great job. Jerry.
I also definitely grew up with Mighty Morphin. It was one of those things that actively made me want to grow up, a foolish decision. But it always had its own magic to it, even like super cheesy parts, super cheesy storylines. It sticks with you. It goes on through most of the series. And it just keeps going. I definitely had a little heartbreak when I found out about the whole Super Sentai part of it. And I'm just like, everything I know is a lie.
So maybe we should have said spoiler alert before we drop that on people, huh? About the Super Sentai.
Too late.
Yikes.
Yeah.
So, Daddy Louie, how about you?
Pretty much what everybody said. I grew up on Mighty Morphin, and what was not to love? I mean, it was, you know, we were teenagers when it came out, and well, I was a teenager when it came out, and they were teenagers, right? So you felt like, man, this could happen to me, right? They made it so like relatable to the teenagers that were watching it, and you know, I don't know. It was just, and then as it continued, they did a lot of things right. They kept Tommy Oliver in a lot of the shows, you know, so they could keep continuity from series to series. And you know, although I love Mighty Morphin, some of the other shows into the future ended up being really, really good as well. So they've just done a lot of things right along the way. Their marketing is amazing, obviously, with the toys and stuff like that. But, you know, nothing will ever be as good as Mighty Morphin.
So now, how do y'all feel about the live action film? It was panned by critics as not doing very well. But
wait.
Are we talking about the original one, or are we talking about the 2017 one?
Oh, the 2017 movie. I think fans can agree that the original was solid because it was very much
like
still
top notch.
Right, it was still very much, you know,
when
Mighty
you saw
Morphin.
those costumes for the first time, you knew it was legit.
Right. So now, but what about that 2007? Rory, you are chomping at the bit. What you got? You are excited.
Oh, I'm gonna say this. I love, like, my head is still like, part of me was still like, I forgot if I saw the first one in the theater. I liked it. I loved it, you know, especially love Aisha was there. I'm like, yes, look at me. Even though I'm really the Pink Ranger. But I did like, let me think. It's weird. Like, I'm learning about, especially being in LA and making my own stuff. I'm definitely learning about film now. I liked it. I liked how they kind of were switching around different characters, different ethnicities, different orientations. And at the same time, there was just one, they shouldn't have had the black boy hung. I don't know who missed that. Had that not been in there, it would have been a fairly solid movie. I liked it. Put a, what is it, a caveat in there, obviously. But
right.
I liked it. I liked that Billy was on the spectrum. I liked that they, even though I was reading about the character, and I learned that he's not per se. So there's room to grow in that.
Sure. But
to be honest, like, I don't know. Now I might need to go see it because of that. Just that somebody should have been able to say, don't include that. That being said, I was looking forward to Tommy, like, especially when they showed that green jacket. Whew, I was like, oh my God. You know, so I like the costumes and how they were designed. It was wild that, like, okay, they had, I don't know, I feel like the Zorg action could have been better. Like, I feel that is something that definitely good in the first one. I like that the villain was hilarious. Like that, I feel for kids movies is, and I'm not saying it always has to be there, but for that, I feel it works because it's like kind of scary guy who's sort of Ghostbusters but purple.
Right.
And then but he was funny. He was like kicking out all these funny lines. I'm like, yes, this is wonderful. And it was a little kid who saved the day. So like, I definitely
very empowering. It was empowering for kids.
It was. Oh, and about disappointments really quickly. I was disappointed when I learned that Tommy was an adult and not a teen, or like older than I could date at the time. Hasn't gone away. If you're watching this, just kidding. Not.
Well, I mean, but even in that, I mean, Tommy had no business hanging around with those kids at the community center. It's like, come on, man. Come on.
He's a doctor, though.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's the doctor. He's passing on advice to the next generation.
He was a little bit too close to them. I mean, it all worked out, but I don't think that would fly today.
Never mind. Maybe I could be wrong. Leave that one alone. Yeah.
So, Dino Fury coming out 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Predictions, concerns. I mean, what are we thinking?
I might see it anyway.
The suits are amazing.
They're
so good. Like, yeah, they're so good. Like, I would say maybe the best that the show has had so far.
Really?
If you haven't seen them, go look them up. They're really cool. They're really cool. I don't really know much about like the premise of the show, other than I've seen like some screenshots, and obviously I've read about all the rumors that this will be the last year that that they're connected to the Super Sentai stuff. But
right.
I'll save my comments for when.
Jerry, how about you?
I'm wondering how much they're gonna try to kick back to the older series, or if it's just gonna kick off on its own independent style. I haven't seen the suits yet, but I want to. And I'm also curious how many different dinosaurs they can do. Are we going to have another new T-Rex, or can we retire T-Rex for something else as far as Zoids?
So
because there's only so many dinosaurs.
So okay, so if you so Jerry, if you could pick your dream team of dinos, for the Zords, which dinosaurs are you gonna pick for your five, like the five dreams? So you said you want no T-Rex, right? Your five dream dinos. No T-Rex.
T-Rexes, but they've been there so many times. I'll still say like a pterodactyl.
Sure.
But I cannot name it. There's another almost T-Rex like dinosaur with a dome head, kind of like his skull is showing.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yep, I know what you're talking about. That would be a very cool Zord.
Yeah.
Like running in and like
it could have like
hitting people with.
Have a hidden cannon in there or something. Just
all right.
Like little rockets
that shoot out. That would be cool. That would be very cool.
I've always been partial to Triceratops, so Triceratops. Yeah.
So what about Saber-Tooth Tiger? We bringing back Saber-Tooth Tiger?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Why not?
Why not?
Always partial to Saber-Tooth Tiger too.
Why not?
There's a bigger one too. I don't know why I'm remembering this, but I think there was Sabretooth, but there was a mega, or it was some cat that either was that. There's another cat, and I can't remember what it is exactly. Maybe it's something that's coming to mind.
So,
Velociraptor.
Oh yeah, there's the. Hold on, Daddy Louie, throw that up again. We'll have a look.
Oh, those are cool.
Yeah.
I like the blue.
Yeah.
Although I know that belongs to Sean.
There you go. So Sean, what are your thoughts on this new series coming out? Are you excited? Are you gonna watch it?
I mean, it really depends on if they do split, which direction the studio decide. Like, they have an opportunity to kind of replicate what they've been doing in the best way they can, or they can kind of veer off and do something a little different, which I don't think either would be a bad choice. It just depends on what happens. I think it's exciting though.
Oh, absolutely, for the franchise to continue.
Oh yeah.
So, but here's the issue. And again, this is just rumor at the moment. Some people feel that it might be fake news, but there's a website called the Illuminerdy.com. So I don't know if you're familiar with it, but the Illuminerdy.com. They go deep into some nerdy conspiracy theories and things like that. But based on some of their evidence and some of their insider reports, they're saying that at the end of the 2021 contract with Nickelodeon, TOEI and Hasbro, they're splitting up. They're parting ways. And that means the Super Sentai footage is going with them. First of all, do you think that's true? Do you think that, I mean, this is a multi-billion-dollar franchise that could potentially hurt the franchise, but I mean, what do you think? Do you think that's true? Do you think that this is plausible? Could that actually happen?
It's 2020. Anything can happen these days, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, destroy everything. Just take childhood too.
Oh, geez. Good point.
I mean, I hope it's not, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if. But I know why fix something if it's not broken? Like, it's been working.
Rory?
You know, just find ways to keep moving forward.
Sure.
Maybe not doing the same thing, but reinvent it. You know, but I don't know. I'd hate to see it happen.
Yeah, because it would be a franchise killer at that point. Rory, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
I don't know. I figure, like, honestly, there's probably a little truth to every rumor to a certain extent in some sort of way. But again, I think Sean has a point. Like, if it's not broken, leave the formula alone. But obviously, behind closed doors, something might be up. It's kind of like, I don't know where this is, but they were trading Spider-Man back and forth. Remember?
Right.
So, like, I don't know. I do think. In my head, I was trying to figure out how to fix the problem. If it's true, I'm like, look, they could just do this. And hopefully, because I personally, like, yes, certain things might need to be fixed, changed around, updated, whatever. But part of me really doesn't want the Power Rangers to end, even if I'm not, like, actively watching right about now. Because, like, in my heart, I like it really started to sink in as, like, we were talking. And I felt like crying. I'm like, Rory, don't cry on this new show. You've only been on here once.
But it does. It hits like a core emotion with you, something that you've held on to for so long, even if it's not a part of your everyday life. It's who you are. Like, you grew up thinking,
that never goes away.
I knew I was going to be a Power Ranger when I was younger. Like, there was no question. It didn't work out, clearly. But, yeah, it's part of who you are at your core now.
Yes, it's like the Temptations. I'm kind of waiting. Like, they had, I'm not going to make that joke. Power Rangers. I realized, like, that was going a terrible place. I'm gonna take it back. Power Rangers, yeah, I'm waiting to sign up. Part of me still believes in the Ninja Turtles and Santa Claus, too. And I feel no guilt about it.
All right.
Not at all. So I'm hoping they can work this out. I'm thinking, can they CGI it? Can they maybe make parts of it animated? And I know that costs more money, but at $1 billion, so maybe.
Well, yeah.
I figure they're not going to make a decision if they don't have a backup plan that's going to work equally as well. At least that's what I'm hoping.
Right. And that was, and I'm glad you brought that up, because that kind of segues into the next part of this. Let's say this is true. Let's say that for whatever reason, TOEI does decide, and I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly, but let's say they do this design. And for those of you that aren't familiar, TOEI is the production company that does produce Super Sentai in Japan. So if this split does happen, what does that mean for the franchise? Rory, you had mentioned the possibility of maybe animation. Obviously, toys, comics, those are already out there in existence. That's probably not going to change. But what about live action films, animation, or what does that look like for a solely 100% US-based production, where now we're producing the action scenes? Louis, what do you think about that?
Well, I don't think that the rumors are going to end up being true. I think that they'll come up with some type of deal to keep working with whatever they're doing, because money's involved, and both companies are obviously profiting massively with Power Rangers and have been for years. But if the split did happen, I don't think that the franchise would go away again, because Hasbro is making so much money off of Power Rangers. Like if you go into any Target, any Walmart, and you go into what I will call the boys toy aisle, right? Because you got all the girls stuff, and then you got all the boys stuff, and then you got like all the outdoor stuff. Somewhere between the Star Wars toys and the Marvel toys, right smack dab in the middle is your Power Ranger toys. So you can without a doubt go in there and find Power Ranger toys. So I think that they would figure out some way of bringing it, whether it be an animated series, a movie series. What I don't want to see happen is I don't want to see them reboot Mighty Morphin. I think we live in an age of reboots, and I think that if Hasbro or Power Rangers and Super Sentai went their own separate ways, I just have this feeling in my gut that Hasbro would be like, all right, now it's time to reboot Mighty Morphin because we have full creative control.
Right.
Because they reboot everything, right? And there are certain actors and characters that, unless they were to do like Mighty Morphin the New Age, and they were to bring JDF back as Tommy Oliver and have him be like a school counselor, and they were to bring back some of the other actors, David Yost to play Billy, and he's the school psychologist or whatever, you know what I mean? Like if they were to do that, and those actors were playing their characters and then mentoring the next generation, I could get behind that because that nostalgia is still there. But when you take the characters and you replace them with new actors, like with the new movie, the 2017 movie, right? There was they had JDF in the movie. Like he's in like the last 5 seconds of the movie, right? Instead of making that the cameo where he comes outside and he's like, oh, look, the sky is blue again, make his cameo in the school as a professor. That makes more sense because he can still be Tommy Oliver and still have a continuity into the universe, as opposed to just, oh, look, the sky is blue. Like I just didn't like that, and so I don't want to see them continue down that path, rebooting Mighty Morphin.
And who better to train that next generation than
JDF,
than the previous? So what do you guys want to see? So let's just say this is going to happen. Disclaimer, we don't know if this is going to happen, but let's say just for the sake of conversation, let's say this does happen. This split happens. There is no more Super Sentai. It is now 100% brand new, fresh Power Rangers. What do you want to see? Louis, we've already heard from you on that, and I think that's great. But who are you looking at? Is it going to be like a whole fresh cast? Are you looking at? Are there maybe people currently working in Hollywood, or maybe it should be a fresh cast of people that we don't know? Jerry, what do you think?
I think that would. Sorry.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
I think a fresh class would be pretty good for it. Getting some new faces out there, having that chance to make themselves known, because Power Rangers did a lot for those actors. For most of them. And I think it's a great way for people to get started. It's not something that's terribly demanding most times. And it's a really good new start. If they do it correctly with the mentorship and everything, I think it'd be really great for new actors. I definitely like to see them having creative control and not having to make a scene work that can't work. So that's been the bane of a lot of the series. So if it does happen, I want to hope that they'll really take the creative part and focus on it more so than how to sell it.
Right. Yeah, but they'll probably, that's always going to be at the forefront. Sean, you were saying, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off earlier. You were saying.
No, you're good. Yeah. I think similarly, it would have to be a new cast completely of people we don't know, because I think that was the allure of it. It wasn't the celebrity that we'd seen in 15 movies. It was the Power Rangers, and they were new to us. And it kind of gave us that feeling that it could be anyone amongst us. But I also liked Louis, look at your audience, your target audience, and have these people making smart cameos, because it will draw people that fell in love with it initially, fall in love back with it again.
Yep, very good. Rory.
I guess I'm really down for either. On one hand, I like what they did with the movie where they like mix up or say, hey, let's look at Billy through maybe this lens. Let's look at it through this lens. I don't think it kills the story. It just makes it more interesting and makes it grow. On the other hand, I also liked your idea where we're now like, you know, bringing in these people as mentors, because it is really like passing the baton. And I think that's been a really strong theme for Power Rangers. Like we're continuously passing it on, or maybe moving back through time. And I really like that. I also think it'd be pretty interesting for them to do it Academy style. Again, I know that was at least in one of the iterations. And then like, you know, have them, you know, kind of be the professors, have somebody be evil, or on like, for the live action Sailor Moon, the Blue Ranger kind of was like kind of playing with the dark side for a minute, you know, so to maybe have somebody not being controlled by anybody, but maybe actually literally choosing to like, I don't know, because of my life situation, or maybe because I have to learn to be a little more, you know, selfless. I also, what I also would like is the write on that. Either one, as long as it's good and, you know, all different groups, ethnicity, everybody's being taken into consideration.
Right.
I would love to write on it. Oh my God. I would like, that would be my birthday gift. My birthday is next month.
Okay.
That would be
well,
my
happy birthday
gift. Like, thank you. For like 3 birthdays. Because I believe in the story so much, you know, about self-sacrifice and honoring power as service, you know. So I'm kind of down for either, but I love the fresh face concept. Because like on, I think Rory Leicester, that's my whole name in case people didn't know. With Lovecraft, like I recognized Journey. It would be cool to see like, you know, a known face, but I like the guy who I don't recognize, who's like Atticus, the main one.
Sure.
You know, so it would be quite exciting. Like, yes, it could be anyone amongst them, including the older people, almost 40.
Man, I liked what you had said about like an academy. That would be kind of cool, like a Power Ranger academy. Maybe not necessarily on Earth, but maybe it would be like a Harry Potter style school, Mars. You know, I mean,
yeah, because we're going there,
right?
So.
But you've got, instead of just the 5, you've got a school of 500. You know, maybe, you know, something along where they're training, you know, future Rangers, and of course, you know, have people come through and, you know, bring Rita Repulsa back. Got to bring Rita back.
Oh, Rita.
Oh,
It'd be
Rita.
interesting if she was one of the professors, but she was like under another identity, or I think she and Zed had a kid. I'm just going to put it out there. It might have been
Oh, yeah, they did.
Oh, for sure.
So they seemed a little too close on the moon. Anyway,
well, they got married.
Yeah.
Remember?
They subsequently get divorced because they couldn't get along. Something
Well,
like
I mean, they got married. They might have had a honeymoon. I mean,
that is true. Usually I wouldn't believe, but that's a situation.
Yeah, I remember that they did this whole wedding, and it was so like it was so ridiculous. She had like a black veil, and it was just ridiculous.
And like Lord Zed was like holding flowers or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. You know, and they were like doing like Christian vows, and it's like, I don't really think Rita and Zed are Christian at all. I don't really get that vibe from them. But
Playing stuff, but don't enact on it. But, no, Gordon was her son. Like, am I the only one who was wondering that? Just
yeah, that's just you.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, they had a mother-son sort of bond. So I like, maybe she adopted her. Then again, she's an alien. That might be her
body. She made him out of a pot. It might count.
I think maybe Gordon was there to fulfill other needs of hers. You know, make my monster grow. That was her catchphrase. So I mean,
that actually is making a lot of sense.
She's lonely.
Back to that show.
All right, a lonely older woman living on the moon. You know, look at what else she's got surrounding her. Her one hand, I can't remember his name, but he's really old, and he's like the science guy. I can't remember his name. And then there was, you know, the kind of like the dumpy, pot-bellied, buffoonish, you know, henchman. And then there was Gordon.
just as a thought, since we're on this, like we have a certain concept of view. Rita might have enjoyed her full womanness, shall we say? I'm just saying,
As she should.
As she should.
Zordon was her ex. Think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like her old academy boyfriend. Because they all went to the
like the academy is like the beginning of the old one is actually like a time reverse thing of this new one, because that's how time travel works.
So
like,
then maybe
you always run in.
So then maybe this could be a prequel. The new series could be a prequel where we see Zordon, we see Rita, we see everybody at school together. They could do the whole Harry Potter thing with that. It writes itself.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Brilliant. And that would sort of tie into like Zordon having been a ranger with that movie. It could kind of like lightly reference it.
Yep. Because Zordon got down. All right.
Yeah, something. There's something about him. It was that boom too. I don't know.
I do want to thank you guys for joining us this week. We are out of time, unfortunately. One more thing for all of the grown-ups now, if you want your childhood completely destroyed, go online and check out the Mighty Muffin Power Pounders, or Pounder Rangers. That's what they are. The Mighty Muffin Pounder Rangers. I'm not going to put up any information. Just go ahead and do a quick Google search if you want your childhood completely destroyed. Then watch that. Sean is on it.
I'll wait till we log off.
But when you find it, you'll also find another sliver of your childhood. It's the adult version of the Grinch, who stole Christmas. So Cindy Lou Who is grown, and
thank God, yes, okay.
Yeah, Cindy Lou Who is grown. For anyone who has. All right, so anyway, this is how we roll. So I just want to go around real quick, and I want you guys, if you have anything to plug, anything you want to talk about, by all means, please do. Rory, what you got going on out there in the world?
Well, like I said, I'm just gonna flash this real quick. Hold on. Ugh.
And also, where can people find you?
Right. You can find me. This is Teddy Ninja, and I will explain him in a minute. You can find me particularly on Twitter at RORSTILL. And then for the Instagram, you just take out that I, so it's at RORSTLL. Okay. I'm using this amazing bear that was made by Sweet Fructose from Twitter and Instagram, because I'm working on it. I'm developing the animation for this, and I'll definitely be talking about that. I actually have a show called Artist Live that I do on Fridays and Saturdays usually, or one day or not, and sometimes pop-ups, and it discusses artists, what they do, and people doing something like parenting in an artful way. This is my really dope graphic novel that came from, I'm gonna just block my face, that came from this book that is available on Amazon. It's about wild and crazy things happening to people in an alternate universe, in an alternate Philadelphia, by a creation and chaos goddess Flashbang.
Nice.
So yeah, check me out. Please follow what we're doing. There's an entire franchise building for this. Just like the Power Rangers did their thing, I'm doing mine.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it. Jerry, how about you?
You can now find me at Two Beers on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and the Two Beers Show on Twitch. That is 2X Beer Z.
Okay. And do you guys talk about beers on the show?
We talk about just about everything. We do nerd news, we do reviews, gaming, a little bit of all the nerdy culture we can find, some real world events here and there, but it's mostly in a lighter tone than a more serious tone most times.
All right. I love it. Sean, how about you?
We might have 2 beers.
Yeah, we need more than that.
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram at Shawnaki, a combination of my names. And right now, I'm just going to be slinging coffee until Corona kicks it, waiting for the World of Theater to open. I'm grateful that, the arts are taking it safe and not trying to do more than we should be doing right now. But it's the livelihood of a lot of people out there right now. So I'll just be waiting for the day it comes back.
Okay. Nice. And Daddy Louie, last but certainly not least.
You can find me everywhere Circle of Nerds related. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all that good stuff at Circle of Nerds. I have a show on YouTube called But Is It Good that I release episodes that every Saturday morning at 8 o'clock. And then I have a few other episodes dropped in. And then you can also find me on Twitch every Monday from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/play renegade. And that is where I paint Power Ranger miniatures for the Heroes of the Grid board game by Renegade Game Studios. So
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. So again, everyone, thank you very much for joining us this week. We really appreciate it. We had fun. I thought that this was a good time.
It was nice.
Can we have y'all come back sometime?
Yes, definitely.
All right,
Always.
definitely. Especially when the new series drops. Absolutely. All right. So, on behalf of your Shield director, Chris Fury, who again is out there saving the world, from all of us here at Nerds on Ice, I want to thank you very much for joining us this week. And of course, you can check us out on Circle of Nerds. That's everywhere. Circle of Nerds on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, Pandora. You get the picture. We're all over the place. So again, guests, thank you so much. Viewers, listeners, thank you so much. And we will see y'all next week live right here every single Friday night, 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. You guys have a good one. Bye.
All right, everyone, chill.
To hear all of our podcasts, look for Circle of Nerds on iTunes, iHeart, Pandora, Spotify, or wherever you get podcasts. And if you want to see these weirdos in their natural habitat, just look for Circle of Nerds on YouTube and Patreon. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode.